Welcome to my D&D Beyond homebrewing tutorial. I'm Nosfero, and today we take a look at a favorite feat of many, Fey Touched. No matter what kind of class you are choosing, the ability to use Misty Step and one other spell at least once a day, plus half an ability score increase, makes this feat a great choice. So let's get ready, because we are about to begin. For those of you watching who aren't sure what a D&D feat is, take a look at the description below for a link to some documentation on what they are and how they can be useful. I'd like to point out that I'm going to be doing this tutorial on a laptop browser, and how we get to the creation page is different from the mobile version of the website. Let's start by navigating to dndbeyond.com. From here, we hover our cursor over the Collections drop-down menu to open up the menu. When the menu opens up, we should be able to see the 7 Create buttons for every different kind of homebrew. From here, move that cursor over and click the Create Feat button. On the next page that shows up, click the Create from Scratch button. Now, we should have a blank sheet in front of us, ready to be filled in. Let's first start by putting a name for our feat. When we put the name in, I'd like to also put a small acronym next to the name to indicate which rulebook or expansion I'm grabbing this content from. For this feat, we are grabbing it from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, so my acronym is going to be TCOE. Now let's head over to the version and apply the correct version for this feat, which for me is 5E. Now for the description, I'm going to use a website for easy copy pasting of content we are creating. That website, which you've already seen already, is dnd5e.wikidot.com, which I already have open in another tab. Let's go ahead and grab the entirety of the description here, copy it, and then return back to D&D Beyond webpage and paste it into the description field. Now moving on to the snippet field, I would paste the exact same as we put into the description field. With that completed, let's scroll on down to the bottom of the page and click that orange button called Create Feat. When the page reloads, we now see we have a lot more options we need to take a look at. When we take a look at what the description is for our feat, we can see that there are 3 pieces that we're going to need to program in. 1, we need to program in our half ability score increase, which I've highlighted right now. And then the other 2 are the 2 spells that we're going to be learning because of this feat. Let us first start with a half ability score increase. Let us scroll down to the modifier section, and on the right-hand side, we see a blue button, Add a Modifier. When the page loads up, see we have a lot of drop-downs and text boxes in which to fill in information. We only need to fill in 3 of them. We need to fill in the modifier type, modifier subtype, and the fixed value fields. Let's first start with the modifier type. We go in here, and we need to type in bonus. Once we do that, all of the drop-downs for this modifier subtype are now filled in. We now click on that field, and we select Choose Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma. Our last field is how many of the ability score increase we want to add as a part of this modifier, and so we're going to insert a value of 1 into the fixed value field. All the information that we need for our half ability score increase is now into this modifier, and so we want to go down to the bottom of the page, that blue button that says Save. Now that we've finished adding the half ability score increase modifier to our feat, we need to start adding the other spells that we need, the 2 spells. One is Misty Step, and the other is a chosen spell from a list. Let's do the simpler one first. Let's add Misty Step. So let's go over to the blue Add a Spell button and click it. There are a lot of fields available for being able to select spells. Since we only want 1, let's go over to the spell field. When you click on it, you see that a drop-down menu of all the spells available are there. Well, at least all the spells available to your account, that is. So for this one, we want to type in Misty Step. So I only typed in Misty, and it narrowed it down enough for me to be able to click on it. So let's click on it now. And now the spell has been added. Now, we could do other modifications, and that's what a lot of these other fields are for, is being able to change and adapt spells. But we really only want to make sure that this Misty Step is usable once per long rest. So let's fill in the number of uses field, add the value 1, and let's head over to the reset type field, and let's select long rest. And that's it. Let's scroll on down to the end of this page and click that blue save button. Having successfully added Misty Step to our feat, we now need to turn our focus towards adding the remaining spell to our feat. And this was one that we actually need to choose. It's not one that is just automatically granted. So let's go and take a look at the Wiki.page page. On the Wiki.page page, you can see that we need to choose a first level spell from either the Divination or Enchantment Schools of Magic. So I'm going to open up each of these pages on separate tabs, go into the School of Divination, and I'm going to click first level. As you can see here, there are quite a number of spells that are available for us. We're going to need to add each one of these to our feat as an option, a possibility that we might be able to choose. When we head over to the School of Enchantment, we can also see that they have a bunch of spell listed out as well. So let's head back over to the D&D Beyond webpage. And let's click that blue Add a Spell button. And let's try and see what we need to do. There are 3 main fields with which to help us add spells to our list. We have the spell field, which allows us to select spells one at a time. We have the spell levels field, which allows us to select spells at a specific level. So all spells that we have available at level 1, if we clicked 1. And the spell class, which allows us to select all the spells available to a specific class. Unfortunately, there isn't a drop-down for allowing us to choose the spell based off of the school, which makes adding the spell list for this feat a little bit more challenging. For those of you who have watched my introduction video, you may recall that I mentioned there are irritating aspects to D&D Beyond's homebrew system. This is one of those irritating aspects. Unfortunately, there's no way around it, but we must insert each one of the spells, one by one, into the spell field. If your D&D Beyond account is brand new, not all the spells listed in the Wiki.pages pages will be available to us because we might not have access to all of the source materials to our D&D Beyond account. A good example is a very useful spell, Hex. Now, I can add it because I've already created it previously. Don't worry, I'll make time to create a video on how to create that spell soon. I have compiled 2 lists of all spells we need to add one by one and added them to the description for you to easily use. One list is the total amount of spells, not including Unearthed Arcana, and the other list is the spells available to a fresh, brand new D&D Beyond account with only the basic rules available. So let's start adding spells. I will go quickly. And there we go. I've inserted all the spells that I have available. As you might have seen, there are a few spells like Hex, Dissonant Whispers, and Silvery Barbs, which have the little acronyms at the very end. Those are spells that I have implemented. With our list of spells complete, we need to remember that there are 2 additional fields we need to fill in. The number of uses field with the value 1, and then the reset type field back to long rest. After we've done that, let's scroll on down to the bottom of that page and look at that blue button and click it for saving it. And that concludes our homebrew of the Fey Touched feat. Let's finish off this video by showing you what our hard work looks like when we try and use this feat in a character sheet. Now, switch on over to my character sheet that I already have loaded. If you don't have a character sheet, that's okay. Just follow along, and you can do it yourself when you have one. I'm going to move my cursor on down to the Features and Traits section of my character sheet. And then when that pops up, I'm going to scroll on over to the Feats button. That opens up our area here for the feats that our character sheet has available, and mine currently has none. So let's open up and click that Manage Feats button. This opens up a panel on the right-hand side of all the feats that this character sheet could have. Let's scroll on over to the Fey Touched feat and see that red Add button on the right. Let's click it and add it. When we do that, a blue icon appears in the feat. And as that pointed out, we have some choices needed to be made. I'm going to go ahead and press the little down arrow on the far right in order to expand this feat so we can make those choices that are necessary. When we scroll on down, we can see that we have the 2 drop downs, one for choosing which of the 3 ability scores we want to increase, and then being able to choose a spell. If we take a look at our character sheet in the background on the left, we can see that we have, in this case, 13 for each intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. In this particular case, I'm going to go and I'm going to choose wisdom. When we did that, the wisdom score went up to 14, and our ability score modifier changed to 2. That also affected all of our wisdom-based skills, like medicine here is now a +2. And our perception is a +4 because of the proficiency bonus. Now let's go over and let's choose a spell. I am going to choose Hunter's Mark. Now that we've finished selecting the 2 aspects for Fey Touched, let's take a look at our character sheet. We can see that we have the 2 spells in the Feats section of our Fey Touched. Let's move over to the Spells tab, and let's take a look at them. We can see that we have a 1st level spell, Hunter's Mark, which we are allowed to use. And then we also have Misty Step here that we can cast at a 2nd level. Now, because my character is a fighter level 3, he doesn't have the innate spellcasting abilities. However, we can still use these because of the Fey Touched feat. Now that we have seen the result of our work, let's wrap things up here. Today we used dnd5e.wiki.com to provide us the details for Fey Touched. We took the details written on that page and we programmed it into the homebrew system of dndbeyond.com. Then we did a quick tour of our work to make sure it came out the way we wanted it to. If you liked what you saw, click that like button. If you enjoyed the content and want to be notified when I post more, hit that subscribe button. If you have something specific you want me to homebrew, contact me through Discord at Gaming with Nostro or via email, both of which can be found in the description below. Thanks for watching. Until next time.